In the wake of Copyright Gate 2013, giant scandal going on, I've been thinking, and I don't think anybody's really made a good, concise video saying what I'm about to say, so hell, I'll do it. Why not? And by the way, this has nothing to do with YouTube. Almost nothing. I mean, it has to do, obviously, with the topic at hand. But YouTube has the right to manage their website however they want. It's private property. They can make as many ridiculous rules as they want. They could make a rule that you're only allowed to upload cat videos at 10 seconds length. Like, they can do whatever they want with their stupid website. But this is more of a thought experiment. And potentially and hopefully what we'll see as the strategy for gamers and the evolution of the copyright law to include and, you know, come to the aid and defense of the consumers of video games. Which, let's keep in mind, this whole gaming craze with the videos and content production by you, me, and everybody's mom, it's very young. So law is going to take baby steps, if ever, to catch up with this stuff. But this is how I envision it. This would be my argument. Gaming does not fit verbatim into the copyright laws that were built to protect normal old media. Meaning books, magazines, articles, movies, music, etc. Those are static media. Gaming is interactive. And in order for anything to happen in a game, you need a gamer. You need a gamer. Now, the distinction that needs to be made here. I'm saying that the black and white situation of the developers and publishers own everything. They get to decide who lives and dies. They own it all. That's wrong. That doesn't work because the gamer has some input into this. But at the same point, I'm not on the other side either, and I don't think legally it makes sense to say the gamer has all the power either. I think it's somewhere in the middle. Now, personally, I wish the gamer had all the power. I think it'd be the best thing for the industry because there'd be no censorship. Bad games would get crucified, as they should, and people would be free to express themselves in the in the freest way possible. And it only helps the industry that we're talking about. But at the same time, I understand that, you know, these companies deserve rights as well. We can't just take them wholesale away. There's negotiating points on the table. And these are what the negotiating points are. Because gaming is an interactive medium, it has to be taken into account how much responsibility is on the player to make things happen in the game. My point. A game like BioShock Infinite, which is incredibly story-driven, really depends on the strength and the punch of that story to be unique to a player to sell that game. That's the value of that intellectual property. Very akin to a movie, almost the same thing. And honestly, with these Let's Players and stuff, I have a hard time arguing the defense of that. I think Let's Plays, regardless, sell more games than diminish sales. However, I have a hard time just standing up and 100% objectively saying that, you know, Let's Players should have the right to do whatever. But it's true, logically speaking, that a story-based game with that information being shared can diminish an IP. But equally as logically thinking, a game that is absolutely not story-driven at all and is 100% the game is used as, let's say, a sandbox for creation, i.e. Minecraft, sharing of that diminishes the IP nothing. Absolutely zero. In fact, a game like Minecraft is more of like software on your computer. It's almost like Sony Vegas or Movie Maker or just about any Microsoft Word. And I know Mojang, I think that's who they are. They're very cool they understand that YouTube made Minecraft, and so they empower YouTubers. But even if they didn't, and they tried to pull some shenanigans, honestly, Minecraft, it'd be like Bill Gates going through Microsoft Word and claiming he owns the paper you wrote on his program. That's the point I'm trying to make. Games have a scale to them like that, where it can be incredibly close to a movie, where the intellectual property is incredibly valuable and sacred in a way, if that's the right word, I don't know. But it also needs to be said that it can be on the other end of the spectrum, and the game can literally be 100% based on the interaction and creation of the user. Now, those are obviously the extreme, levels of it. I'm sure we could probably get a more extreme example than BioShock. Maybe the Telltale games, where it's just point and click or something. Maybe that's a better example. But the point is, devaluing the IP, right? That's something you have to defend. You have to defend two things in this conversation. One, that it's interactive in nature. And two, whether or not it devalues the IP. Interacting is important as well. Because, if you go to the hardware store and buy a hammer and build a house with that hammer, the hardware store doesn't own your house. That'd be retarded. Doesn't make any sense. Same way with Microsoft Word or whatever. So really, where the legislation for this law needs to go and move to is a realization that there's levels of gray in between this, and that some level of defensibility on the consumer, aka the evil money whore that's trying to make money off video games, needs to be put. I mean, and it's the same way that with, the whole game criticism thing, I don't think that really applies. That's more of a YouTube problem rather than the problem I'm discussing here. But while we're on the mic, it completely sucks that Angry Joe and other reviewers are getting destroyed by YouTube because of a simple, laser death bot. Ooh, content ID. Destruction. People uploading their own unique footage of whatever. A guy made his own game in BASIC and it got content ID'd. People make their own music and it gets content ID'd. The system's broken, right? But this talk was mostly just to be about the fundamentals of the understanding of how to navigate the future of this copyright law. And I think I made my point.